All right, guys, welcome to this week's trade group. Bit of action, a bit of a blow-off today, and we'll, I guess, spend some time just having a look at that and having a look at trades that are open, take any questions. We've just gone live with the options trading game as of Monday this week, and a lot of people polled in, started trading yesterday, which is good to see. That will run over the next month.
In just 2 days, got over 35% return.
Fantastic.
Tim being one of them.
Tim being one of them.
Good work, mate.
By turning it all around, Tim. Was that Tim 1 or Tim 2?
We check for cheating very carefully. There is none of this, please.
Yes, okay, fair enough. All right, so anyway, guys, if you haven't got on to play the game, optionsgame.com.au is all you need to do. I'll type it into the chat box in a moment. And join the Reach Markets League. Which is the proper league for them to join? Because there were two there I saw yesterday.
Yeah, we had a couple. There was a Reach Markets League, and then I believe there was a test one that Ivan might have put up early on in the...
It actually wasn't. Yeah,
right.
But anyway.
All right.
I how you type.
It wasn't.
ASDADS.
All right. So which one was it, just to be clear?
There is a Reach Market that's not ASDS. Actually,
okay.
Yeah, we can go in here.
We'll go in there.
You can continue talking.
Yeah.
Sorry for my husky voice, everyone. I'm sick again.
While you're doing that, I do need to do a general advice warning before I forget.
Great.
Where have I got it? Any advice contained in today's presentation is general only. It doesn't take into consideration your personal circumstances, and you need to decide for yourself whether it's appropriate for you. Past returns are not an accurate indicator of future returns. All right.
Don't get out in the morning for risk-free. That's funny. There is that one, I'm guessing.
Reach Trophy League.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doing well.
All right.
Doing well.
So join the league. We're going to give some prizes.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe we have a conversation off the line.
Yeah, we do. We've added
something up there. But I was thinking, for people that are clients, we might do something like do a big brokerage free sort of prize if you win that league. So join the game, join it. The good thing about this is it gives you the opportunity to test strategies you might be thinking about doing, maybe even just test an approach to the market, and it's a bit of fun.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. There is an achievements now as well, so we're probably going to go on and reward off the back of that.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you're active, you're involved, and try and do all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
So we're, as of the next game, I think we don't have any more this year. Maybe we do, I don't know.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do?
Yep, one more game this year.
So as of that game, we'll probably be actually moving the whole game into engaging with the content experience as opposed to anything else.
I think the ASX want to run a game after their Investor Roadshow.
Perfect.
So we will have another one on this year.
Perfect.
Excellence.
So yeah, it's pretty good. Get in there, invite your friends, challenge them, beat them.
So the game gives you the same tech that you use for your trading now. And so you will be familiar, you'll have the added advantage over other players, as in you'll be familiar with using the technology. But as you've got that 50 grand that we pop in your account when you first start that you can paper trade with, we put $50,000 in and you can trade away to your heart's content, provided you don't lose it all. Here we go. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to operate the session today in game mode. Let's click over
just because it was there.
Because it was there. That's right. Let's click over to have a look at the chart.
Guys, as we're just going through this also, please ask any questions. Where are we again? But it's been interesting. Yesterday the US reported, as I woke up in the middle of the night with hot flashes, looked up, the ISM was the weakest it has been since the GFC, lowest in 10 years, which caused that big sell-off yesterday, impeachment worries, all that kind of stuff.
It's interesting though, and a good consolidation and then a move off the consolidation is like the ideal trading point for the breakout stuff, because you usually have the 50-day moving average come up and join you, and then you can trade where you go, well, it's a pivot, right? It's either really going to break out and move up, or I know pretty quickly that I'm wrong and I can reset my position. So we're at one of those Sort of, we're not quite there on the SGO at the moment, but we're not far off there.
But it's interesting, the two things that obviously people are looking at the moment. I'm looking at sort of what a lot of the guys are doing in terms of orders through the system. There's a fair few iron condors going into the XJO, slightly wider, some neutral type trades, which sort of makes sense considering we're not really taking out the, we're not near the all-time highs and we're not near the lows. But in terms of a directional type play, you're definitely looking at a break of that middle low, of that sort of reverse head and shoulders type thing around about there. That's a lot of slightly tilted neck line, or the breakout of a high. Keep in mind, you are going to get a fair bit of, likely you are going to get a fair bit of volatility coming through. October is typically the most volatile month, although it is mostly because of 87 and 2007 that it's sort of a bit of an outlier. Octobers are actually generally not such bad months, but when it sells off, most of them seem to be around October or November. I do think, I'm actually quite proud of myself as I'm listening to myself talking. I feel like I've developed a radio voice over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Husky kind of.
Yeah. What happened to you?
I don't know.
No? All right. You
Six
went to
children.
New Zealand and came back with a different voice.
I was working on my Kiwi and,
Too hard.
Too hard. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Okay, guys, I might just take us over to have a look at Coles, but has anyone got any trades open that they would like us to discuss or reference or anything to look at here? So Coles is an interesting one. We can see the 52-week break there, and at that point in time, ADX was above 20, so it would have lined up for a lit long, and there's been a few other lit longs that have presented themselves, and it's, it'd still be long, and even though the market's come off, it's still looking, relative to the market, it hasn't come off anywhere near what the market's doing, so it's still looking, really quite strong. So yes, yesterday it poked. It must have been in the afternoon. It poked its head back up above the 52-week high because I was looking at it around midday. But
obviously the day before it poked through as well.
So it sort of presented, and
but again, this is what we keep talking about through all the sessions. This time around, now the difference between 1546 and we're over 1430, where that 50-day moving average is starting to get wide. Whereas when it presented in early September, it's just that initial break started, and it bounced well off those lows. So that's been a good one.
That's a really good point. And it is definitely getting widened. So just to really hammer that point home, what we're referring to is the distance between the 50-day moving average and the current share price, and obviously being the 50-day moving average on a lit long trade is that point where we look at moving the trade from bullish to bearish. So if the gap is too large, then by the time you get there, the loss can be,
or your max loss, and then effectively then you're sitting on your long put, which is, you're still in the money, but you really want it to continue going.
So it's one of the key considerations. But if you're in there now, you'd still be staying in there, right? And continuing to ride it. Beautiful. All right.
WPLR and Condor is a question that's just popped up.
Let me add to my watch list.
How do you like the multiple watch lists?
It's awesome. Yeah.
It's been one on the list for a little while. WPLR and Condor, 30, 31, 50, 33, 50, 35, so it's just through the lower end of that. When's the expiry, Carl, of that one? I'm assuming this month, end of October. 31.68. Oh no, so it's actually, sorry, I need bigger glasses, I think.
October.
Yeah. So I think that one came up, I assume that's the bronze iron condor that came up on the 18th of September. So it effectively hasn't really moved anywhere. What exactly would you like us to look at here, Carl?
So at the moment, are you of the opinion you would just be sitting there?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not even broken below 31.50 since that came in. 33.50 obviously is a fair while away. Possibly, if anything, it's looking a little bit weaker now, but I mean, it probably wouldn't be doing a whole heap until it gives you some signals of it doing something else.
Yeah. But doing normal WPL type stuff. Yeah.
WPL is an interesting one. You know, it's funny. We've had some of the best directional trades on WPL. In fact, I think the best ever lit long was on WPL.
Yeah, where we got it completely wrong and it fell.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And yet it's also one of the better iron condors that continuously comes up. So it stays in range for a long time and then and then it busts out. Yeah. So but Carl, look, just in terms of that, you know, sure, it might challenge the 3150 as you mentioned it. There's plenty of support around 31. If it breaks through, you probably want it to go on and go down there pretty quickly, and then assess from where the situation is. I mean, there's plenty of support there.
So this is the where do we go lit long? It was up here.
August, yeah. It was literally there in that first move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it absolutely collapsed.
Yeah, went almost to max profit and then just it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. So that was a bronze iron condor. You know, we spoke about this 2 weeks ago when I was here. There's a lot of that kind of waiting for the market to really make a move on something. We've had that come up. I mean, really, it's been the theme since, I wouldn't say the whole year, but for the last couple of months, it's been pretty quiet. Just at the moment, it's a little bit no man's land. You're really hoping that if for our iron condors, you want the market to really break down or break up, have some serious gap moves, volatility to come in, and hope that it just picks up across the major stocks. It doesn't come from the small caps.
Yeah.
And if that happens, then we're going to have a lot of iron condors that will come up. So ironically, around that late last year, October, November, was where the majority of the iron condor trade ideas popped up. And then so hopefully we would get a bit of a move like that, and then otherwise we're just waiting for something to happen. Should we have a look at James Hardie? That was an interesting one. It's one that I've been in a couple of times. I think it's just replaced itself this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it came up again this morning before the market opened.
Yeah. Jess has been in a bullish move for a while. I didn't. I had such a weird experience with James Hardie. It must have been about a year and a half ago.
Yep.
Where I was in an iron condor and it literally came back in the last 5 minutes. I know it just literally, right there on the line. And so I hate that stock. It caused me so much stress.
But this is presented itself this morning.
And ages ago.
Yeah. So that go away 24.
$2 difference on the on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd probably want it.
I'd do it.
I think that presented itself yesterday. To be fair, I don't think it came up today.
Yeah. So it must have been the afternoon yesterday. That it popped up there. Right. So just sort of
poked its
head up there. You would have been really watching it pretty closely if you did that one. But if it comes back up above that $25 level, I reckon it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
But your thoughts?
It's a bit of a funny one. As I said, aside from my emotional,
you're emotionally
damaged. I mean, but I say this so much, right? Yeah. If you have an emotional opinion about a stock, don't trade it.
Yeah.
So it's this stock's dead to me. Right. Great opportunities. Oh, Telstra.
It's my Telstra.
Yeah, it's your Telstra. Yeah. Aside from the fees that you pay on Telstra.
Yeah.
For the lots. Yeah.
Right. Guys, is there any other questions? Anything else you'd like us to run through?
How are people enjoying my voice? I wonder if I should make this permanent damage to myself.
Tim, is there anything that's come up this week that has been a common question from anyone?
Nothing too common. No? Some very specific questions.
Yep. Okay.
Nothing specific. Oh, nothing common.
All right. Well, I think generally speaking, overall iron condors have been working really well. There's, there haven't been a lot coming in as the suggestions on the front page. We need a bit more. We need volatility to come back into the market, or IV to come back into the market. for that to sort of there are long trades that have presented themselves, and some of those stocks have decoupled with the market, so there have been some really good trades there. It's just one of those times, and as you say, October, well, it's like the markets sell off in October sometimes, and sometimes they don't. So it's hard to read into anything too much. I think you just got to trade technically at the moment.
Yeah.
I'd be watching the distance between, if you're lit long trading like us, you've probably got an eye on the distance between the moving average and the actual share price when entering into trades.
Just before we talk about that as well, guys, we are working through sort of a range of different things in terms of how to improve the service at the moment as well. If you've got any suggestions around things that you'd love to see more of, please let us know. We're trying to find ways to help your trading even more, if it's more education, if it's more webcast, or if it's trading groups and things like that, things like WhatsApp channels and whatever else. We're working through a whole barrage of things that we want to try and introduce. If you've got some ideas about sort of next gen things that would really help you, please let us know. Either shoot us an email or let Tim know, and then we can start putting this together. We really want to get this
actually one of the things that we're talking about at the moment, I'd be interested to just if you could type yes into it if you like the idea of it, or no, or make a comment, is we look at the trade ideas that come through, and we're looking at them every morning and looking for confirmation and those sorts of things. What we're wanting to do is start a WhatsApp group, so that if something comes up, we can WhatsApp you, so you can track that as it goes live, as opposed to having to go in and check and see that something's happened in the market, because it's obviously a moving beast. And so if you think that would be interesting, so when we're saying WhatsApp, the way that would work, if you're not on there already, it's an awesome tool. We use it a lot within the office here, just in as a communication tool. But it's a way that you can communicate as a group with each other and chat amongst each other. So what we could do is, for anyone that wants to join the WhatsApp group, if a trade comes through that meets the rules, send you a WhatsApp message. Pop up on your phone, you can see it. You can see maybe a bit of banter between people having an opinion about it, and then if you want to trade it, maybe there's a link in that thing that can link you back to the system where you just log in and trade as per usual.
Yeah, which we're just about to fit in. We just did it for the game, and we'll have links and things. Just an interesting point on that as well. Also, we'll be able to get market maker quotes for directional trades and put them on there and update them as the market changes. So that'll be useful as well from that point of view. Otherwise, it's just too hard by the time we get that. Send it through over message, market moves, the entire price. That's overwhelmingly. I don't think we've ever received so many yeses in a short period of time. That's great. Anything else you want to add on that? I just want to answer the Aaron Condor question.
Yeah, no, let's talk to Brian's 2 questions.
Yep. How to exit an Aaron Condor breakout? Depends on when. That is really the question.
Well, let me just set the scene, because if you enter into an Iron Condor and there is a clear breakout, what do you do?
Yeah. So I think, so first thing I'll say is that our trading system in the backtesting, when we go in and put up the gold, silver and bronze trades, does not look at closing down breakouts, right? The reason for that is sure, there might be situations where it will improve your odds. We just haven't done the numbers on it. So logically, if the market goes and pushes up a standard deviation, then there's probably a lot of value in shutting that down early before the time decay kicks in and goes back. We've got plenty of stats around how often the market comes back into the range. So for example, because we trade half a standard deviation out spreads, even though our our frequency of success is meant to drop on that, the bigger amounts of premium improve the overall odds of the Iron Condor trading system. So for example, like what we were talking about with the Carl trade, where the WPL, the bronze WPL that came up before, which is a 30-31-50, there's something like a 30% chance of it breaching one of those levels throughout the life, right, which is quite high. and that's just half a standard deviation. Once you start going down, it improves even more. So, so there's plenty of research. We do need to do another recap on all the iron condor stats, especially since a lot of people have traded them. So anyway, but to set the scene, as you mentioned, there's sort of a couple of different scenarios. One is it breaks down quickly or breaks through the top end quickly. You probably just make a call on it, to be fair. Is there a chance in your mind that it's going to come back? Our trading system just assumes that you hold it. If it comes back, it comes back. If it doesn't, you close it down and towards the end of expiry. We should look at early closing and impact of rolls, but that'll come after the directional stuff that we finish.
Can I just make a point?
Yeah.
It's a really important question that Brian's asked, and I know our answer is probably. Might be an interesting one for some, but understand it this way. When we're trading iron condors, a lot of people have traded iron condors in the past where they've been putting on like 20, 30, 40% of their bank into one trade.
Yeah.
Right? And they've been going a lot wider than what you'll see the trades that we're recommending, and they'll be receiving a smaller premium. But so they're likely that they'll be successful, but when they're wrong, they're really, really wrong, and they've also got quite a large amount of their bank exposed, and then they're looking at rolling positions out further and trying to avoid ever taking a loss on the trade. We approached our analysis differently, and we're saying, well, over a wide range of scenarios, what's the best return we're going to get? And so we're actually doing trades where if it goes wrong, on that instance, if it's the worst case scenario, it's a worst case scenario, and that's what it is, right? But if we do that trade 10 times, we're expecting to get it right 7 times max profit or somewhere around that range, and that 7 times, makes us a significant return. And if 3 we've had max losses or partial losses or whatever, that's actually just part of this particular strategy. So it's one of those things that you kind of have to get your head around the idea behind it. And for a lot of traders, losses are something that they want to avoid at all costs. In this particular strategy, and sometimes when we trade, yes, that's the way we're approaching our trade. But in this instance, we're just we're using data to confirm that if we do this and we do it over a period of time, we can make really, really good returns. So we don't need to fiddle with it, but we are doing the work to identify in what instances would you be better off either rolling out or just closing the position down, and we'll introduce that as we optimize things going forward. I hope that answers your question. I know it's a bit of an elongated version of that.
The follow-up question for everyone else is close at break even and go with the odds on multiple trades. The tricky thing with that is most of your time decay is going to come in the last sort of 2-3 weeks, and it accelerates quickly. So the most amount of return you will ever make on an iron condor will be in the last day. Plus, then you also don't have to pay brokerage to close it if it goes your way. In terms of right close to the end, Wednesday, Thursday. Before expiry, you really want to close the in the money legs pretty much as soon as you can. Because the problem is if it goes and you get charged on the equity legs, because what will happen is you've got 2 in the money legs, they both effectively get assigned. One gets assigned, the other one gets exercised automatically. They net each other off, but you pay brokerage on the equity legs. And the funny thing is, not only will you lose a lot more money on that, we will also lose a lot more money. So it's not in our interest for that to happen, or yours. And the differences can become quite a lot. So, but what you do need to do is you need to do a quick calculation. For anything that's liquid, you're probably only paying up, if it's a 50-cent spread, you're probably paying 50.5.
Yep.
Right? So you're not paying up a lot, but you need to do a calculation. Go in at the max loss. So let's say it's a 50-cent spread. You'll be putting in the trade at 50 cents. The put spread, you don't need to do anything with the call spread unless it's a breakout to the upside, because obviously it's worthless. It's just going to expire.
Yep.
But the put spread, you make a decision on. And so either you close it or you go up to a certain point where it's just not valuable. I guess sometimes, the spread might be wider than it would be for for taking on the equity, especially in smaller trades. If you're doing bigger trades, you've got to get out of it. That's sort of one of those things. You get special emails on the Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday saying that your positions are at risk of getting exercised, and you should pay attention to those. It's a really great service. We've had really good feedback on that. So please make sure you do that. Will we do a webinar on the topic of iron condors? I think we definitely have. There's been plenty of interest on that. We should also update it with all of the, I think we did it in April or May, I think. We should update it with all the results. We launched, no, it was April, because in April we officially launched our service.
I think, what about if we did a webinar, go back over the rules for the iron condor, some of the reasons why those rules were created, and then we go back through all the iron condors that have presented themselves one by one, and just look at how they unfolded. And then that would kind of, Brian, that would, I think, allow us to explore some of those, issues and get you comfortable about how you would be trading through those.
I think that's a really good idea.
So let's, Tim, let's schedule that in. I think based on the feedback from everyone today, we thought it was a good idea. The WhatsApp thing was a good idea. So it's really good to see all the feedback, people agreeing that's the case. So we'll put that into production, and hopefully within the next 2 weeks we can have something up. It'll be compliant dependent. We've already done sort of a bit of thinking around it. So we'll make that a reality. That'll be a nice little addition to what we're doing. Okay, guys, but as Ivan said, any other feedback, if you're talking to Tim, just pass it on to Tim. Tim will circulate it back to Ivan and myself. You can always reach out to Ivan or myself if you send an email into the office and ask to have a chat with us. We're always more than happy to talk, and would welcome that. I think that's it for today.
There is one question. Just using trade ideas gives above average success. Brian, we build strategies that we hope give an edge to the market. The iron condor service that we've launched has been good so far. It's actually, returns have been better than what we even had in backtesting.
But to arrive at that, Brian, any of the conclusions that we make are quant backtested. And so when you say above average success, well, the only ones that we're publishing have had exceptional success. And then we put them into real live market conditions. So how do we arrive at those? Well, it's the things that we traded ourselves, our own trading hypotheses, but then a lot more has now been us, now that we can afford to hire quant analysts and we've got the technology, it's us going through and using that so that we can actually get an edge on what's going on. So this is all stuff that's put into production on that basis. And one of the things that's in our list of things to do, and we're talking to someone that might have the skill set to be able to do this kind of work for us, is to be able to create the ability for multiple people to backtest and provide their trading hypotheses, and then go through and test and publish that data, and then turn that into trading scans and give you more things that you can follow. Anyway, I think that's it for today. Thank you for getting online. Really appreciate everyone taking the time. I don't think there's anything else from our side, so we'll sign off. Wonderful. Have a great day, guys. Good luck, and if you haven't already, register for the game and get into the Reach League. Cheers.